Hello friends, my name is Vinay and I have started a new YouTube channel primarily focusing on various issues faced by new investors and traders. There are a lot of material and videos available on the internet and YouTube on various topics of trading and investment. But after going through so many videos, I have felt that there are certain topics which are still not understood by the new traders and investors. So I thought I should make a video on this basic aspects, primarily on options and option Greeks. So now we will start. As you can see, the this is my YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to it. Click a bell icon so that you can timely get all the updates. Let's move on. So we will touch upon starting from a very basic, most basic concept. People gets confused between what is saving account, what is trading account, what is a demat or DP account. So just understand this basic concept. Saving account, which is basically holds the cash, and it is with banks, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, any bank. Trading or broker account, that is basically used for transaction, and the famous brokers are like Zerodha, ICICI Direct, 5paisa, Upstocks. And finally the demat account. Demat account basically holds the stock on your behalf, and demat account is opened with depository participants called DP, and there are only presently two of them, CDSL and NSDL. So whenever you open any trading or broker account, you get a user ID password of this trading or broker account, and you link your saving account for transfer of money, and this broker in turn opens a DP account or demat account with your depository participants. So primarily there are broadly two kinds of broker accounts. Discount brokers like Zerodha, Upstocks, Fires, 5paisa, they generally charge very less amount as a brokerage while buying or selling stocks and options. And there are second category full stake brokers, which are ICICI Direct, HDFC Securities, SBI Securities. These full stake brokers are generally expensive in brokerages and yearly demat charges. However, they are backed by the respective banks, so you have a safety on that part. Now moving to next. Lot of people still know basics, what is trading and what is investment. Just I am highlighting 2 minutes. Trading, once you buy or sell stock on the same day or sell on the next day, that is non-delivery based. You don't take the delivery in your demat account. It is called intraday or BTST, buy today, sell tomorrow. Then second is the swing trading. It is when you buy a stock at a particular low price and sell at the next high point. That's called a swing trading. Positional, when you buy a stock and sell it after few days or a week or within a month, it is called positional. As far as the investment is concerned, the short term, mid term and long term. Short term is for few weeks or a month or two. Mid term will be few months up to 1 or 2 years. This varies depending upon your view, and long term is anything more than 1 year till 5, 10, 20, 30 years as per your investment horizon. So these are basics of trading and investment. Now let's moving on to the option basics. What is option? What option is basically a derivative product. Primarily it is used for hedging of your portfolio, but it can also be used for trading. So why options? Say for example you want to buy SBI bank stocks. So there are three ways of doing it. First option is you buy stocks straight away 1500 quantity, and the current price of the SBI stock is 450. So if you multiply that, you get 6,75,000 capital required for buying this many stocks. But if you buy futures of SBI, so one lot, it is in lot having 1500 quantity, and you will need to have 2,38,000 in your account to buy a one future lot. This varies a little up and down depending upon your broker, how much margin or leeway or leverage is giving you. And third is option. So for example, you want to buy SBI Bank at 460 rupees. So what you do, you buy 460 call option, one lot, that is quantity 1500, and current premium or quantity is 15. So if you multiply with the quantity, you will need 22,500 only to buy one lot of call option. So among these three, with call option, you have the least amount of margin required to get exposure of 1500 quantity of SBI. So this is the most leveraged, and hence it is the most risky also. So there are two types, call option and put option. Initially we were following American, so it was CA and PA, but now we are following European options, so that is why the name CE and PE. Now options are basically based on the underlying assets. For example, index, so we have Nifty, Bank Nifty, Nifty Finance. Based on that, there is a Nifty options and Bank Nifty options. For stocks, SBI options, Reliance options, and they are in various lot sizes ranging from few hundreds to thousands. Now once you buy an option, it is called, you are buying an option contract, and this contracts for stocks it is only monthly, and at the fourth Thursday of the month there is an expiry day. So at around 3:30 p.m. on the final day, the settlement of the stock options will be through delivery. So that means you have to take the delivery of the stocks you are intending to buy. But for index, we have a weekly and monthly options, and on the last Thursday or on expiry day, the settlement is through cash. You need not take the delivery of the index. Basically it is available for 3 months, current month, next month, and far month. So how do we decide what options we need to buy? So for example, it depends on your view. So if you have a view like SBI Bank will move up in few days, and if you want to buy it at a particular price, for example, if you want to buy SBI after few days at 460 rupees, current market price is 450. So in normal stock, you have to wait for stock to reach 460, whereas in option, in advance you can decide that I will be buying SBI stock at 460, and hence you buy SBI 460 call option. Now the premium will be, say for example, 15 rupees. So 15 rupees into 1500 quantity, that makes it 22,500 is all you need to pay initially, and that is called option premium. So once you buy option, you are just paying 22,500 option premium, and this premium changes as per movement of SBI stock and based on certain option Greeks, which we will study ahead. So what happens on the expiry day? On expiry day, option buyer can decide whether to buy this 1500 quantity of SBI or not. So once you have an option of whether to exercise or not to exercise your right. For example, say on the expiry day, SBI has reached 480. So option buyer who has bought 460 call option, he would like to buy 1500 quantity of SBI stock, which as per contract he needs to get at 460 and market price has reached to 480. So at that point of time he is getting SBI stock at a cheaper rate. So he will definitely exercise his right. But say for example the SBI 460 option was bought, but the SBI stock has reached just 455. So if the stock is available at 455 in the open market, why he would like to exercise his right to buy SBI at 460? So he will not exercise his right. So option buyer has a option of exercise or not to exercise his right to take the delivery of 1500 quantity of SBI stocks. So in a nutshell, option buyer has a right that he can or he may not buy the SBI stock at the expiry day. However, if he decides, option seller has an obligation to give it. So what happens? Option seller who has sold 460 call options, that means he is entering into a contract and agreement that he will be giving the option buyer SBI stocks of 1500 quantity at 460 on the expiry day. In return, whatever premium option buyer is paying will come to the option seller, and option seller thus has an obligation. He doesn't have right, he cannot say no, that I will not be able to give you. Either he has to buy it from open market and give it at 480, he will buy and give it to you at 460, so he'll be at a loss of 20. So this is how it works. Moving next, so how to buy and sell options. Now it depends upon your view. So for example, if your view is that stock is going up, so we require to buy a call option and we call it as a long position on the market up move direction. So once you buy a call option, that means somebody has sold the call option. So call option seller has opposite view. Why? His view is that stock will remain below the call option strike. In SBI example, if somebody is selling you 460 call option, so call option seller will think that it will never cross 460 price. Similarly, if your view is that stock is going down, we need to buy put option, and it is called as a short position because you are betting on a stock or market moving down. So the put option seller has opposite view, and his view is that stock will remain above put option strike. In SBI example, if I say again, so if the SBI stock is likely to go down, say 440, so you buy 440 put option in anticipation of it moving down. However, the put seller who has given you the 460 put option, his view is that the SBI will remain above 440. Let's take example Nifty currently at 17,500. Now view is it will go up to 17,800. So option buyer will buy 17,800 call option. Seller sells with a view of Nifty remaining below 17,800. So if I summarize this concept, when you buy call option, it is equivalent to selling a put option. So call option buy is equal to put option sell. Basically both are betting on the market moving up, that is a long position. So if anybody is buying option, he will buy call option, and anybody who is an option seller will sell put option to take a long position in the market. Similarly, when the view is that market moving down, so option buyer will buy a put option, and if there is an option seller, he would like to sell call option. So put option buy is equal to call option sell, and this is called a short position because the view of the market is moving down. Now there are certain parameters which we all must have seen. Spot price is basically the current market price, or we also say it LTP, last traded price of stock or index. future price, it is the price of the futures. Basically they are at premium or discount of the stock or index, and they are traded at a futures price. There is always a difference between spot price and future price. So if it is premium, then future price will be higher than spot price, and if it is at discount, then future price will be lower than the spot price. I just want to clarify, when the options are bought and sold, initially uh, we have to follow the respective future price, but on the day of expiry, options follow the spot price. So we need to keep this in mind. Now, what is the strike price? There are different stock or index values available for buying or selling options. Say for example, for SBI is currently at 450. We need to bet on it moving up. So we buy 460, 470, 480, 490, 500 call options. So these are all different prices. They are called as strike prices. And now there is a term called open interest. We will learn it subsequently. IV is implied volatility. It has an effect of on option premium. And finally, there are strike prices are categorized into ATM, ITM, and OTM. I will just explain this in next slide. So this is the option chain. On a particular index or stock, there is an option chain. I'll just brief you various parameters of this option chain. So option chain, this is a Nifty option chain. So it is a Nifty 17,532 is a Nifty spot price. Now this is the expiry, that is the upcoming Thursday expiry, 7 October. Then this is the call sides, this is calls, and this is the put side. Now this is last traded price, both the sides. Then OI, open interest in lakhs. So if you have a one contract, then it is a Nifty has got 50 lot size. So if there are 100 contracts, so it becomes 100 into 50. So this many lakhs or thousands, it is shown here. OI changes, what is the change in previous day to right now? What is the change of open interest, whether it is increasing or decreasing? So now you can see the highlighted portion in the middle. This is called at the money, because market is near to the spot price. If you can see 17,532, so roughly 17,550, it is near to the spot price, so it is called at the money. So at the money call option and at the money put option. Now if you can see these blue boxes, for calls it is strikes below the ATM strike, and for put strikes above the ATM strike. These are called in the money call options and put options. Now if you see the yellow boxes, for call side it is above the ATM strikes, and for put options it is below the ATM strikes. So they are called as out of the money call and put options. So this is a basic understanding. While in TV also you must have seen all various experts are saying that buy OTM call option, buy ITM call option. So this is the basically connotation of that parameters. Now I have expanded this option chain by activating the Greeks. So you can see the Greeks. So these are Greeks: delta, theta, vega, and gamma. The values are given. This is the ATM 550, and this is a put side: delta, theta, vega, and gamma. And as you can see, delta side, when we move from OTM to ITM, the delta increases. Similarly, for put side also, OTM to ITM, delta is increasing. For call side, deltas are from 0 to 1 positive, and from put side it is minus 1 to 0 on a negative side. Rest theta are all negatives, both the sides, and vega and gamma are always positive. and you can see for theta the highest value at ATM, both the sides. So now let's learn option Greeks. We have got 5: delta, gamma, theta, vega and rho. I'll go over one by one. Let's first see how the option price is defined. So option price is defined with 5 parameters. First is time, which is defined by the option Greek theta. Second is interest rate, which is generally fixed, and this is the interest rate we take it as a risk-free return, and that is basically taken as the Government of India bond, 6.2 6.3% currently. So it is more or less remains same and fixed, so that we can ignore rho option Greek. Third is the volatility. It is defined by the Greek vega, and next is the strike price. So once we buy option, once we select the strike price, then it is fixed. It doesn't deviate or doesn't change during the currency of the contract. And last one, most important, is the underlying price, is the spot price of Nifty or stocks which are moving based on delta. And in turn, delta is also not a fixed parameter, it is also dynamic in nature, and its measure is measured by a gamma. So these are how broadly option price is defined. First, let's move to delta. So what is delta? Delta is a measures change in option premium with change in underlying asset spot price. Delta value, as I already brought out, call option has got from 0 to 1 and put option side -1 to 0. Now delta value increases from OTM to ITM, as I already show you, and it is a friend of option buyer and enemy for option seller. These two terms I will discuss in detail in later slides. Just remember this. And delta itself is not fixed and it keeps varying. So now just see the graph near the ATM, and right side is the OTM and left side is the ITM. So if see you have a contract option of near expiry 7 October, so the delta is lower at the OTM side and higher in the ITM side. So it is advisable for a near expiry to buy a in the money call option. Similarly for far expiry, OTM is little higher than the near expiry and ITM is lower than the near expiry. So it is advisable if your view is longer and if you want to buy a monthly option, it is better to buy a OTM call option. So now this is the comparison between the near expiry 7 October and the far expiry 28 October. So just concentrate on delta. See how delta is compared in these two. If you can see, near expiry in the money delta is higher, whereas far expiry out of the money delta is higher, which is just I told you in the graph. And near ATM it is generally 0.5 and around. If you can see, just a little difference, but at ATM it is generally 0.5. Next, there is a correlation between delta and gamma. Now let's firstly see the effect of delta. Now this is a small table I have made with the strike prices and call and put side delta. We will take an example of 17,550. Call option delta is 0.47. So Nifty is 7,550, call option premium is 114 and delta is 0.47. So Nifty moves from 17,550 to 17,650, that is 100 points. So this premium of 114, how it will increase? There is a 100-point rise, so 100-point rise into 0.47 delta, we get 47 rupees. So this plus 47, it becomes 167. So this is how the delta, because of delta the premium increases. There is just a small minor calculation error here, but you can understand this. It is basically 171, not 167. Now rate of change of delta is called gamma. So gamma is always positive, as I said earlier, and the value is highest near the ATM strike. You can see this is the ATM strike, and the value decreases as we move ITM or OTM. So if, say example, gamma is 0.0013 at 17,550, if the market moves 100 points up, so the gamma effect will be 0.13. So this 0.13 effect will be on delta. So the delta will now rise from 0.47 plus 0.13 by 0.6. So now new delta will be 0.6. So just for example, if you want to compare, see this 17,550 delta is 0.47. When it becomes 17,650, this 100 point delta will shift here. So new delta will be 0.6. So it is matching now. You can see 0.6 and 0.6 here. So this is how gamma affects the delta. So delta itself is not a fixed parameter, it is a dynamic. So now let's see correlation of gamma. Change of gamma with respect to time is called charm. We need not remember these parameters, just for education purpose. So near expiry, delta is higher near in the money, and for far expiry, delta is higher near OTM. So what we should do, near expiry, delta is higher near ITM. So we buy ITM call option of weekly expiry. And for far expiry, delta is higher near OTM. You can see this, far expiry. So we buy OTM call option of monthly expiry. And again, change of gamma with respect to volatility is called VANA. Again, need not remember this, just for education purpose. So when the volatility is low, as you can see with blue line, the delta is higher near the ITM and lower towards the OTM. Similarly, when volatility is high, the red line, delta is lower near the ITM and higher near the OTM. Okay. So this is, again I have marked how gamma with respect to time moves. So for far expiry, the change of gamma is not much, and it generally is a flattish feature with a little high on a ATM side. For mid expiry, as you can see, it has started taking the curve and it is highest near the ATM and then again goes low towards the OTM. And for the nearest expiry, that is upcoming week, the gamma is highest near the ATM. And as respect to volatility, when the volatility is high, generally gamma doesn't change much and it remains a little flattish. However, during the low volatility, the gamma increases rapidly near the ATM, and because of this, during low volatility, when the gamma rises fast near the ATM, it makes delta to rise very rapidly. So when we buy a 550 call option, delta rises very fast because of gamma, and once market moves to 17,650, we should sell that 550 option and again buy it 17,650 option, because the curve shifts to the 17,650 ATM. So we have to always maintain that delta should be rising rapidly. So gamma is basically making the delta rise rapidly while it is at ATM. So again, I just highlight this. If you see the near expiry and far expiry, gamma, and this side gamma, now you can see The gamma near expiry is highest near ATM compared to ATM of fire expiry. See the difference, 0.0013 and 0.0006. This is what I explained. Now theta. Theta is called a silent killer. Why? Because it kills your option premium slowly and steadily every night. So it is basically enemy of option buyer. This is a table I have shown, and with call option theta and put option theta. Generally in Nifty for this expiry it is more or less same, not changing much towards ITM and OTM. So it is basically it is a friend of option seller, and it basically is a rate of decline or decay of option price with respect to time. It is called a time decay. So theta is always negative because it is a decaying parameter, and the fastest time decay is near the ATM strike, and the decay becomes more fast when the implied volatility goes from high to low. So when the volatility is high, and if you sell option, and if the volatility suddenly drops 1 2 3 4 5%, so your premium gets cooled off and it decays very fast, and option seller is at benefit. So for example, Nifty 75550 call option again at 114 rupees, theta is -10. So next day, if the market remains at same level, and if you check your premium, this 114 will be seen as 104. This 10 rupee has gone overnight. Now see theta of near expiry and far expiry. As you can see, near expiry theta is higher towards the ATM compared to theta of far expiry. There is not much change between ATM, OTM and ITM side, and it is a small difference. Whereas in near expiry, ATM strike theta is highest and it reduces rapidly towards ITM and OTM. Let's understand this via chart. So as the strike price is near ATM, the theta is the most negative, and it is slightly higher towards OTM and ITM. In this chart again, if you can see, when the expiry is far and IV is low, that is volatility is low, so theta has not much decay and it is generally a flattish thing. Whereas the near expiry, and if the volatility is high, the theta dips more and becomes more negative, and thus reduces the option premium. Again you can see the same thing which I have already mentioned. Near expiry theta is higher than far expiry. Now let's see Vega. Vega is a traitor. Why? Because it changes side towards delta when it increases, and when it decreases towards theta. So it is not taking any side, and it goes from one side to other side depending upon the change of volatility. So it measures the rate of change of option price due to change in volatility, which is derived from India VIX. Now this changes as per IV, implied volatility, which is shown in the option chain also as IV, and Vega is always positive. Vega reduces with time passage. So volatility is higher when you have a time left, but as the time progresses and you reach near expiry, and volatility is uh, decreasing. So change of Vega with volatility again is called as a VOMA, not relevant, not to be remembered, just for educational purpose. So for example, let's say if I say the effect, see the effect of Vega on Nifty call. So Nifty 755 call option again at 114 price if Vega is 9. So if there is a change of volatility by 1%, so option premium will rise by 9 rupees. It becomes 123. So now let's see his the effect of Vega with respect to time. So if the expiry is far, volatility is high, and you have a better chance of market moving up and down because the time duration is longer. As and when we reach near the expiry, there is not much deviation left for market to move up and down, and the Vega chart becomes little flattish. Now in this again, with respect to volatility, if the volatility is high near the fire expiry, as you can see, the this chart is flattish and volatility is lower and it is higher towards the near expiry. So there is a difference between Vega with respect to time and Vega with respect to volatility. Now this is Vega with respect to IV. So if you see, if you select the IVs that are 5% within the 5% of ATM strike, the Vega moves like this for ATM, and if you select any option which is having IV and that option price is within 10% of ATM strike, then it moves like a little differently. Just for reference, it is nothing important. So let's see Vega. If you see the near expiry and far expiry, Vega is higher for far expiry and lower for near expiry. Now let's see combined effects of Greeks. I have selected strike 7550, delta, theta and Vega. I have already written. So let's say Nifty 17,550 call option is at 114 rupees. So case 1, Nifty rises by 100 points with 1% rise in volatility. So effects of various Greeks, delta, it will give you plus 47 move, theta will give minus 10 rupees move, and Vega will give you plus 9 rupees because the volatility is rising. So premium will change from 114 to 160. Now case 2, Nifty falls by 100 points with 1% drop in volatility. So now effects of various Greeks, delta becomes negative for basically when the delta moves in the direction of the market or a stock, so it becomes negative. So delta is minus 47 rupees, theta will give you minus 10, Vega will give you minus 9. So premium 114 will change to only 48. It will drop. Now let's say case 3, again Nifty rises by 100 points and come to the same point with rise in volatility as 1% and all other Greeks remaining the same, all three of them. So delta will give again plus 47, theta will give again minus 10 and Vega will give plus 9. So premium rises from 114 to 94. So as you can see, the initial premium was 114. After dropping 100 points, market again rises by 100 points, but your option premium will never come back to the same point of 114. Why? Because this is the effect of theta. It is reducing day by day your premium. Now let's understand this with the help of comparative graph, how the Nifty moves. So what is the problem for option buyer? I'll just brief you what option buyer faces. So this is the x-axis, time, this is expiry point, this is y-axis which is a price. We are somewhere at around 17,550. We want to buy Nifty 17,800 call option at 50 rupees premium with a view that Nifty will go above 17,800 and we will get profits. So let's say on day 1 Nifty rises 80 points. So from 17,550 it goes up by 80 points, and with this two, I am only counting these two parameters as of now, delta and theta, as per the option chain. So what will be the effect of delta and theta? Delta will give plus 16, that is 0.2 into 80, it is plus 16, and theta will give minus 7 as it is. So this 50 premium will become 59. Now it comes the next day. Say for example Nifty falls 70 points. It comes here, delta will be minus 14, theta will be minus 7, and this option premium will become 38. Now next day again Nifty rises back 100 points and it goes up. So delta effect will be plus 20, theta will be minus 7, and option premium will become 51. Next, fourth day it again falls minus 80 point, and delta will give minus 16, theta will give minus 7, and the option premium will become 28. And on fifth day, suppose market takes a very high sharp turn and rises by 120 points, so option premium will rise again with delta plus 24 and theta minus 7, and it reaches 45. So as you can see, option buyer has a positive view, and market has given roughly, you can see 300 plus points and 150 minus points. So in a average, Nifty has gone from 17,550 to 17,700, but the option premium which was bought at 50 has only become 45, that is, it has reduced. And if Nifty is not able to close above 17,800 by the time expiry, this premium becomes 0. So as on today, as on fifth day, the option buyer will face a loss of minus 5 instead of market moving in his intended direction of positive direction. So this is a problem for option buyer, because there is a constant theta decay day on day, and also ideal condition, this theta minus 7 will be next day minus 8 or 7.5, again minus 8, minus 8.5, minus 9, but I have kept this all as same level just to make you understand. So this 45 will be 35 if I take this rising theta, but just to make you comfortable and understanding the concept, I have just kept all the parameters same. So even in spite of moving market plus 150 points, option buyer is still at a loss because of this theta. So now let's understand one more thing. There are the chances of winning between buyer and seller. Let's take an example. We are currently at 17,550 and we have bought 17,800 call option. So there are 5 options how the market will move. For example, if market moves suddenly up move and very fast, it will rise and cross above 17,800. Second scenario, market moves up but slowly steadily taking time and finally reaches 17,800 on the day of expiry. Third, market remains sideways up and down and reaches expiry at the almost same level, 17,550 or 560 or 570. Fourth option, market gradually goes down and is around 100-150 points down at the time of expiry. And fifth option, market falls very high very fast and it becomes more points negative. So these are 5 scenarios. Now as you can see, option buyer wins in this first case because the option price has shot up fast and rapidly. It has crossed 17,800 and call option was bought for 17,800, so option buyer will win. However, in the remaining option 2, 3, 4 and 5, option seller will win because option seller has sold 17,800 call option to option buyer with a view that Nifty will not cross 17,800. So all these four cases, Nifty will remain much below the call options sold strike price. So option buyer will always win on these four options. So option buyer has got only 1 out of 5, 20% chance of winning, whereas option seller has got 80% chance of winning. And that is why option seller are the persons who are a big fund house, DIIs, FIIs, etc. They are having big funds, because option seller requires the cost of futures to sell option, whereas option buyer requires only 22,500, as we have seen, just to buy an option. So all option buyers are small retailers like us, who are buying options without realizing this risk that option sellers have an edge over the option buyers. So what should we do if we want to buy or if we want to sell the options? So let's see. Option buyer, what you should have: your friend on your side and your enemy should be subdued. So option buyer should have a option which can be bought having high delta and low theta. How do you ensure this? So if you have a short-term view, as I brought out earlier, you have to buy in the money call option of near expiry. And if your long view is long-term, you buy out of the money call option of far expiry. If the volatility is at lower level and it is rising from low to high, option buyer gets benefited, because with rise in volatility, Vega will be towards delta side and it will make option premiums rise and it will not let that fall. So option buyer will makes profit if market moves up fast and high. So when you buy option, you have only 20% probability, and in that case, when you buy option, you should not keep it for more than an hour or maybe 2 hours or within intraday. You should not take it positionally to the next day. Now for option seller, you have to ensure that your theta is your friend and you have to keep your enemy subdued, that is delta low. And when your view is short term, you sell ATM call or put option of near expiry, because the theta decay is highest near the ATM, as we have seen earlier. And if your view is long term, you have to sell far OTM call or put option of far expiry with delta having less than 0.3 value, so that delta doesn't affect or doesn't make option premium rise rapidly. And it is better to sell options when the volatility is high and then it cools off. So the moment volatility cools off from high to low, Vega comes towards the theta side and makes option premium decay much faster, and in this way option sellers get benefited. So option sellers make profit if market moves little up and at slow pace, remains sideways, goes little low and falls fast and steep. As I brought out earlier, four different scenarios, and it has got a 80% winning probability. So this is in a nutshell what actions you should do when buying or selling options. Now let's learn open interest in just 2 minutes. Open interest is what? Basically when option contract is sold by a seller and bought by a buyer, we call it as a addition of one open interest. So one contract sold and bought is called as one open interest. So there is a increase in open interest at a particular strike at a call or put side, and it is considered as a resistance or support, and it indicates likely market direction. This I will make you understand in the next slide, how it is giving you likely direction of the market. So increase of OI on call side, that means when OI is counted, we always count as a selling, because the big fund houses are sellers. So when increase of OI, that is options on call side, are sold, that means the view is towards the downward, and that is why it is basically selling call is called as shorting the market. So the call option sellers, they increase open interest, they rapidly aggressively sell calls, and that is called short built up. Now there is an increase of OI on put side, that means they are selling put to have a longer view on market moving up. So all option sellers aggressively selling put options on a particular strike for a view of market moving up is called a long built up. So when market moves up and a lot of people have short positions, they have sold calls, so call option sellers, and market moves up, so they are at loss and they are at big loss, and they start closing their positions. So it is called a short covering. They cover up their shorts, and that is called a short covering. So it happens when there are a lot of call selling or call writing, as we say, and market moves in opposite direction towards upside. So all call option sellers which are trapped, they start closing their positions, covering their positions, and that is why it is called short covering. On the opposite side, when a lot of put sellers have sold put options at a particular strike and market moves down, so that they start closing their positions, and because their positions were long, put sellers are long position, so the long unwinding happens, and this phenomena is called long unwinding. That means put options have been sold and market moving down is in the opposite direction of their view, and hence the long positions get unwinded. So after understanding this, let's move to the graph. This is the open interest graph of Nifty. You can see Nifty, it is of a near expiry. So this is the center point. We are at this spot 17,550. So you can see the green is a call. That means around 400k, above 400k there is a call writing, that is call selling of 17,550, and roughly around 300k there is a put selling. So this acts as a center point. So now if market moves towards this direction, towards the market up direction, this call option sellers, they will start covering their positions, even this one, and it is called short covering. Again, if the market moves towards downside, these long sides made by put sellers, they will start finding their positions, and it is called long unwinding. Now as I mentioned earlier, for a particular strike, say 17,000, put option writers have made a lot of positions. So when market move down, this acts as a support because of this put writing. Similarly on upside at 18,000, if you can see, there is a huge call writing. So call writers or call sellers are confident that market will remain below the 18,000 mark, and this acts as a resistance. So this is the coordination of open interest, and one must understand open interest, how it is affecting you and your option buying or selling strategy. Now if you see this red lines, they are going on a negative side, so it is basically OI change, as I have already shown you on the initial slides. So what happened last week, Nifty was at around 17,800 900 level, and from there below these points, a lot of uh, people sold put options thinking that market will remain above the strike prices. But when market moved from 17,900 level towards 17,550, this put option sellers close their long positions, and this is the long unwinding happening. This is how you can find out if the long unwinding is happening or short covering is happening. So friends, this is all I have to teach you or tell you about the basics of options and option selling and buying. I hope you have understood the concept. I would like you to ask your queries in your comments. Please like this video and spread it to your near and dear ones so that they also get benefited from this video. So thank you very much. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Telegram channels, and I am also on Twitter available. You can follow me on Twitter also. This is the Scorpio Fundamental channel I had started for teaching fundamental analysis of stocks, and this is a Scorpio option sellers group wherein we discuss various option selling and strategies discussed there. So thank you very much once again. Goodbye.